This is Don't Panic, episode number 315, recorded July 26th, 2021. Gotta wait for that. Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to this episode of Don't Panic, the technology podcast that takes the month of July off. I'm Sean Jennings, joined as always by two guys who were lost, but now they're found, Colby and Dan. Good evening, gentlemen.
Hi, Sean.
Good evening.
What a treat to be back.
We haven't always
I'm,
been able...
dialing in.
Oh, go ahead. Dan's dialing in.
It sounded like you had something more exciting to say.
No, I was just wondering, like, we haven't always been able to hear the music, right? That's new recently?
That's new in the last couple weeks, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I know you always imagined it, because people didn't always see it, but you would, like, fake bop your head around like you were...
There was
No,
a
it is
time.
real.
There
You
was a
didn't know.
time when we could, like many moons ago, where we could hear the music. So I always
Oh, yeah.
knew the music, and
It goes. Let me tell you, this goes to show how long we've been doing the show. Where the last time you heard the theme music years ago, it was my iPod Touch routed into a small mixer that went into my Dell laptop back in the day to play the audio for the show.
Wow.
Amazing.
It's been a little while,
Yeah,
but we
Times
made
have
it.
changed.
2021, man, the technology has come so far. Guys, what's new? What's going on? What's hot?
Yeah, I'm dialing in from my new apartment, which I think I probably talked about in the last episode, but it's been so long that I don't really remember. We have Nest thermostats. It's pretty high tech. We got the smart door locks, smart locks, I guess, which are pretty cool. There's like apartment building. So this is a company called Latch, and they make smart locks only for apartment buildings. You can't just like buy one for yourself. But it's cool. You use your phone to get into the gym and the garage and your apartment and everything. Or your watch. The watch app is way more convenient. Oh my gosh.
I bet.
And I'm very excited. Maybe I described this on the show, but Apple at whatever it was called, WWDC, there you go, that's what it's called, announced API support for the same kind of APIs that the Express Transit thing uses, where you don't even have to open an app. You just hold your phone up. This is how that car lock thing works too.
Mm-hmm.
Hold your phone up, and no app open necessary, and it recognizes your phone. And I hope, if Latch is listening, I hope you implement that immediately in September or whatever, because that would make it even better.
Yeah, I mean, think obviously this would involve a hardware change, but if they could get the U1 chip in there, and then you wouldn't even have to put your phone to the door, it would know the proximity, because that's how once the cars have the U1 chip integrated, you'll just walk up to the car like a wireless key fob now.
Right.
That's the next generation. I assume that takes hardware.
Yeah, I wonder. I know when we test drove the Tesla, it did that with just Bluetooth, I think, but I don't know how secure that is.
Well, that's the thing, and how accurate is Bluetooth strength, which I'm assuming is what they're using. It's a good question, but that's nice. You'll have to let me know if you ever get locked out of the house of the future.
We have gotten locked out of only once, and it actually just happened this weekend. A door that didn't have one of those things on it, and it was just suddenly locked, where it never had been before. But no, we have not forgotten both of our phones or both of our watches at the same time.
Well, I was gonna say, having the watch is kind of the nice.
Yeah.
That's on you most of the time.
Yep. And it has a little complication on the home screen, so I just tap the little Latch app, hold it up to the door, and I'm in.
Damn, you are so cool. Whoa, so cool.
Finally, after years of living in New York City apartments where the smartest HVAC appliance was the valve that you turned on the radiator to turn it on or off, now I finally have something.
Which, that's a Kickstarter idea right there. A little web-connected motor that you attach to that valve.
I saw stuff like this.
Yeah, that's
but
great.
it's
What
very
a bad
loud
idea.
because like the those blind retrofit things, you need a pretty powerful motor to turn a steam valve.
Very old valve.
Yeah.
Needs a lot of torque.
Yes.
I don't know if that's
Exactly.
true. I don't know what torque is.
You said it with such authority that I wasn't about to challenge it.
Right.
Can you ever have too much torque? Is
Can
more
you
torque
ever
always
have-
better?
I think so. I
Huh.
think you can over tighten things. That's why they have those, race car, when the people who fix the race cars, when they pull over on the side of the road, they have those crazy
Uh-huh.
guns that screw the wheels on, and those
Just so.
yeah, the torque is set very precisely to not over tighten the screws. It tightens the screws perfectly.
But like on a car, in my understanding, and it's a very incomplete understanding, is that torque in part determines how quickly you can accelerate because it's like how rippy you are on the road.
Yeah. The more torque you have at a lower RPM, the more your car can take off from the line and rocket forward.
I see.
Sean, did you learn this from watching
you ever have too
all
much
the
of
Fast
that?
and Furious movies?
Absolutely. There's a, let's see if I can pull up. There are a bunch of YouTube videos called Too Much Torque. And I'm going to see if I can find one that demonstrates what happens if you have too much torque. What you do is you just you'll just shred out the tires or you will bust bolts. It's just too much force.
I see. Your
is
car
usually what
will,
happens.
will come apart at the seams.
I think the example with the valve would be too much torque. It would literally just twist it and break it, theoretically.
I see.
I've never had a car where too much torque was a problem, so I've never experienced that.
That's a good band name, though.
Too much torque.
Hank the Hyundai had just the right amount of torque.
And their competitor band, Not Enough Torque. Nice. Well, that's
What
good.
have you been up to, Sean?
Oh, Dan, what an eventful month. Stuff's been going on. We can talk. I got a new computer, which is exciting,
Whoa.
and I was in New Hampshire, which was less exciting. So you can take dealer's choice.
Let's start with New Hampshire, and then we can work our way up to computer.
That's
Yeah, and I
exactly
definitely
what
wanna
I was
kind of-
gonna say.
What I would like to do is I kind of want to compare and contrast my trip with Colby's trip, because Colby was just also on the road.
Yeah, it's true.
And I have a suspicion his trip was better than mine. So
I don't know.
I want to see how they stack up here. So I was in New Hampshire for a couple days. My father rented a house on an island at a lake. And I know what you're thinking. Hey, that's pretty cool. No, because the island was in the middle of nowhere, and there was a bridge, and it took 30 minutes to get anywhere. To see a gas station. It was in the middle of absolutely nowhere, and it rained a lot of the time. And it was me and my two parents, who are divorced, but are sort of dating. It's a weird thing. I don't know. And so the three of us hung out, and they were very nice, and we made the best of it, cooked some very bad food, eventually turned it around because let me see if I can remember the name. It's Was it Aquacycle? So we were on Lake Winnipesaukee, and we rented an Aquacycle pontoon boat. And so let me see if I can share my screen so you and the video folks can view it. But basically, it's like a paddle boat on steroids.
Okay.
And oh Jesus, I gotta use my fingerprint to unlock. The hell? All right. Oh, I gotta. Okay, I can't share from Chrome. But anyway, it's like a pontoon boat with pedals, and you pedal it around. So we got in one of these as a bunch of speedboats sped around us, and we putted our way around the lake, a little bit of the lake, and then we went to a bar, which I insisted, a beach bar, and got some cocktails. But you guys would be embarrassed because I'm a big Bar Rescue fan. I've seen every episode. So not that I could be a bartender, but I know what to look for when they're not good bartenders. And they did a lot of stuff wrong. My Mai Tai was very not good. From using too much alcohol to doing that thing where you don't shake it. You kind of like pour it in one and then pour it in the other and then pour it in the other one, and that's mixing. It was very sad.
But
so
it was on a beach. That's cool.
It was in a fancy vacation-y like waterside town where people only go there for 8 weeks a year and it's dead the rest of the time. And so yeah, we went to the outlets, and I get this, I bought both pickles and pasta sauce.
You can get pickles at an outlet?
Was it
Do you know the company Stonewall Kitchen?
Oh
yes.
They make and by the way, I didn't know they made so much. They had an outlet store at the outlet, and they made more stuff than every kind of sauce and aioli and salsa and dip, and it was absolutely insane. It was like I had the best time there, and I would have bought more, but I had to stop myself. So I got some pasta sauce and some pickles. And the pickles were terrible, so I'm hoping the
that's
pasta
gross.
sauce is better.
Oh, Sean, I forgot to tell you, we got your rubs that you recommended.
Oh, Desert Gold.
We did a side-by-side blind taste test. And yeah, we love Desert Gold. We didn't like so much the Bubba's one.
Yeah.
But then we were reading the back, and Bubba's is for ribs, and we were using it for chicken. So I don't know if that matters.
Shame. Good. I'm glad you liked it. It was wonderful. It's a nice spice. I'd recommend it. But no, so my vacation was just, it was good. I had a nice time, but it was radically boring and not the kind of vacation I would get excited about. Colby, how was the great state of Minnesota, the Beehive State?
The Beehive State? It was great. I was there for 2 weeks. In those 2 weeks, I went to the Mall of America 2 times.
Yes,
which was
I'm
cool.
So jealous.
It definitely is the Mall of America. It's like a real ass mall, but huge. And there's an amusement park inside. I didn't ride any amusement park rides. It's so big that apparently they have multiple stores. Like there are multiple Victoria's Secrets throughout the mall.
Did you go to the
Wow.
3 Gaps?
I didn't. I saw one of the Gaps.
3 Gaps.
Yeah. So that was fun. Mostly, I don't remember. I saw a bunch of lakes. We went canoeing it was actually in
Well, it's supposed to be one of the best places to go canoeing, I read.
Yeah, there's a lot of places to go canoeing. There's a lot of lakes. When you take off from the airport, you can see like 12 of them out the window. Let's see. Yeah, made a lot of cocktails. It was fun.
Any specialty local spirits or ingredients you used?
No.
What was everyone's favorite cocktail? What was the big winner?
The big winner. I think. Have you ever had like a Gold Rush, Dan? It's kind of like a whiskey sour, but with honey syrup. We made that a bunch of times.
No, I haven't.
It was good. It goes really well with barbecue. There was a lot of backyard smoking, like rib smoking, meat smoking that happened. Meats,
Nice.
cheeses, salmon. It was good.
Well,
stuff.
if you get excited about smoking, you're a condo dweller in the city, I know, but they have electric smokers you can get. You can smoke out on your little fire escape. That's where fires are supposed to go.
That's where the fire escapes to the outside.
From the building.
That's right. That's what you tell your neighbors after the building burns down.
Yeah. My sister recently reviewed smokers, so she has a surplus right now of electric smokers. Pellet grills. Let's see.
Nice. Well, my dad did not review smokers, and he has an excess of smokers. So if anyone wants a free smoker, you let me know.
Oh, yeah.
I made an interesting cocktail this weekend.
Ooh.
It's the simplest cocktail that produced the most interesting result that I've ever had. It was rum, dry curacao. I don't know how you say it. It's an orange liqueur.
Mm-hmm.
And then you enrich heavy whipping cream. So you take heavy whipping cream and you mix it with some like brown sugar simple syrup. So you mix the alcohols together, pour them into a glass, and then you use, I don't know if I have never done this before. You float the milk on top. Oh, sorry. You blend the milk so it becomes a little bit thick, just so it just barely pours. Then you float the milk on top by pouring it over a spoon. I don't know why the pouring it over the spoon makes it float, but it seemed to. And then that's it. Then you just serve that. And then like the milk kind of sits on top and then like slowly seeps into the liquor, and it tastes amazing.
What's this called?
That sounds really
This
good.
is called
The Dan Special.
It has a very risque name. It's called the Parisian Blonde.
Ooh, that
Yeah.
sounds fun to order.
That's fun. I think the spoon. I think the spoon thing helps you like not break the surface tension of the stuff under it. You know, like it kind of distributes the.
I see,
instead
because
of
it's
having
not
one
just pouring
intense
directly.
stream.
Yeah,
Yeah,
got it.
that sounds good though. I want to try that.
Yeah, it was great.
Oh, they say it's as I googled it here. They say it's a great after dinner drink.
There you go.
It sounds.
A fantastic
Like
finish
dessert.
to a Bastille Day meal.
I saw that too, and I was like, "What is a Bastille Day meal?" And I never looked it up.
Oh boy, these people got to chill out. That's great.
Yeah.
Sean, we missed the new computer. Oh, but I have another question actually. Before we get to that,
Okay,
what is the ideal Sean vacation?
that's Dan. You know, that's a great question. It's something people don't ask me enough. You know, I will tell you, I just don't like vacations in general.
You've said that.
And I don't like to travel in general. In terms of good vacations I've had, they usually fall into one or two camps. I either want to do no planning or a lot of planning.
Okay.
No planning, I went on a cruise with Colby and some other folks. A cruise vacation is perfect for me because you don't have to book a hotel. You don't have to pick out restaurants. You don't have to figure out what you're going to do each day. It's all right there. You have choices, but they're limited. And they're
Very
all
limited.
the same price, free, depending on your package, right? So you get to try new things, but it's not unlimited options, and they're all at least halfway decent. That to me is a good vacation. On the flip side, I think like any place like Washington D.C. is kind of a good example where it's like there's a bunch of like each day you can do something, and it's kind of it's like today we're going to go to the Air and Space Museum, then we're going to go to the National Mall, and we're going to like I want to either do a lot of stuff or nothing. But the nothing has to be mixed with like truly not like no planning or thought. Does that make sense?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. That's what I don't like is the vacation where you go to a place and you're like, oh, what are we going to do today? I don't know. There's really nothing. Let's go on Yelp and see if there's anything to do. Like, I hate that. Like, I have to have a plan before I leave my house. Even if you change it and mix it, I'm fine. But at least have like, here's 10 things we can do, you know, let's pick from this list. Or I already Googled the 5 best restaurants, or, you know, that drives me crazy. So I'm kind of a pain in the ass on vacation. That's why people don't go on vacation with me.
It sounds like you could be really easy on vacation, though, as long as you are invited to the do nothing vacations.
Well, that's why, like, when you guys came down to Houston, I made you guys find all the restaurants. Because literally, I'm like, I could do it, but I'm not good at it. You're better at it. And I don't have any interest in doing it. And you guys were great, and you picked some great places. But that's exactly, you know, there was one time I went to Chicago for a work event with a bunch of people. And we had the restaurant booked like weeks and weeks in advance because there were a bunch of us. And we left to go to the hotel, and I'm like, oh, you just got to go down 3 blocks and turn and go. And they're like, Sean, have you been here before? How do you know that? And I'm like, no, I Googled it before I left Massachusetts. It's just an anxiety thing, but I just like am really obsessive. Like, no, I know where stuff is before I go.
Yeah, and I would say that a lot of the people that I associate with, and maybe this is a me problem, are really bad at the do nothing vacation. I think Colby's an exception. Colby's the only person I've gone on a do nothing vacation with where I would say it was truly successful. Either people get stressed out about the whole idea and they're like, what do you mean? A vacation where we don't do anything? Or they seem to be on board with it, but then when you're on the do nothing vacation, they start wanting to do things, and it's like, no. Like, you're ruining the do nothing vacation.
Yep.
This was not part of the agreements.
Yep. That's what drove me crazy about New Hampshire is if in the morning my two parents would look at me and they'd be like, "So Sean, what do you want to do today?" And I'm like, "This is your vacation. I don't know. Why you?" And they're like, "No, we'll do whatever you want." And I'm like, "I have to decide." That was
terrible.
I will say though, and I'm not saying this because he's on the phone, Colby is one of the best people I've ever gone on vacation with. I'm going to give him that compliment because you have that good mix of like when there's nothing going on, you're really chill. But if we spin up the let's do something, you get involved and make it happen. Like, it's the best of both worlds. So I'm going to give you the shout out. If anyone needs someone to go on vacation with, invite Colby.
That's true. And I can actually say that Colby is the person I've gone on the most vacations with, by far.
Maybe you're missing your calling, Colby. Vacation friend for hire.
Maybe that could be my new career now that I've left my old career. Vacation companion. Actually, maybe that shouldn't be my new career.
Yeah, you find a rich older woman and you travel the world, buddy. It's worked out for a lot of men our age.
I think there's something there.
I agree.
Yeah. I just like a like in the middle vacation. I don't like an overly planned vacation. I mean, a couple days. I could do a couple days where it's nonstop, like doing stuff all the time. But then you got to chill out at some point, right?
At a certain point, it's no longer a vacation.
I agree.
Right.
But you have to plan out which day you're taking a break.
Yes.
That's my trick, where it's like, I will sit around and like do a Sudoku or read a book or hang out, play cards, whatever, keep it quiet. But like, okay, Tuesday is our quiet day, because I'm a lunatic.
Well, I think that's important too. Like any good vacation, you gotta like pick your team correctly. Like you gotta have some people who are gonna plan some things, and you gotta have some people who are gonna go with do the things and have a good time, regardless of what the things are.
Yep, that's why I love, because when we took the cruise, the original pitch I think was New Orleans, and it's like, but we got to find a place to stay, and we got to plan each day. And I'm like, we could just lock ourselves on a boat,
right? Which worked out pretty well.
I think actually,
yeah.
Every vacation that I've done, with the exception of one, since entering adult life, Colby was there. Unless it was a vacation that was tacked onto a work trip. Every other vacation, Colby was there. New Orleans, Maine, Europe, Hawaii.
Maine was so fun. Europe was also so fun. So was Hawaii. Dan, we take good vacations.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, look, I'm ready for the next Don't Panic field trip.
I think that's the move. We got to do that. We got to do something better than the escape room too. That was fun.
Yeah, we got a Stamford, Connecticut. As great as it is, I love it. It wasn't really the wow.
Dan, have you gone back to the escape room?
So the other day, actually, I think it was last weekend. I went to a coffee shop in Stamford for the first time. And I check in, and it's like, oh, you were last here 4 years ago or 3 years ago, whatever it was. I was like, wait, I was? I was like, right, we did go to this escape room.
In a snowstorm.
Right. I did not see any escape rooms on that street, and there are only like 2 streets in Stamford that have anything on it that's not a bank. So I don't think it survived the pandemic, but I don't think that any escape room survived the pandemic.
No. Well,
I mean,
to me, escape rooms are right up there with like fidget spinner stores in that their shelf life is kind of limited in terms of like, you're not going to be a escape room in business for 20 years. I just think those,
nobody's going to be
unfortunate. Kind of like trampoline parks where it's like, yeah. So anyway, Dan, that's my perfect vacation. So if you want to plan something, don't let me stop you.
That sounds good.
Fortunately, I returned home from my vacation to quite a calamity because, and I have props. this bad boy decided to quit on me.
Ugh.
That does.
The
look like
biggest
a
fan
bad
is how
boy.
could it quit on you with that big fan?
My biggest fan right here. So I came home and the computer wouldn't boot up. It got locked in the boot cycle, and I did everything I could to troubleshoot it, where you kind of take all the parts out and you try them one by one to find out what's fried. It's not the RAM, it's not the graphics card, it's nothing. And so it's either the power source or the motherboard, both of which are expensive and a pain to upgrade. Computer was 6 years old. I was planning on replacing it next year anyway, because like this motherboard is so old that you can't get any parts for it because all the ports have all changed over the years. It's kind of bullshit. That's where they get you. And so I decided to get a new computer. And so I had some choices. I could get another desktop, but as you guys know, component parts are off the charts, expensive, ludicrous, graphics cards specifically.
Yep.
And I also, back 6 years ago, you needed a desktop to really get a lot of power. And I don't need that much power anymore, to be quite honest, what we're doing here. I mean, I used to run Skype and XSplit and Audacity and like the streams and all this stuff simultaneously, and it's all really been condensed. So I don't need that much power. I looked at Windows laptops, but the value wasn't really great in them, and I wasn't really impressed by any of the specs. And guys, I went Mac.
Woohoo!
I went Mac. I can't believe it. I've never owned a Mac computer in my life. And so I am the proud owner of a 13-inch MacBook Pro, M1 powered. I am in the future.
How many
Congrats.
gigabytes do you have?
In storage, I cheaped out. And I actually regretted it the second I bought it. I went with the 256 and I should have gotten the 512. But I did, and I got the 8 gigabytes of RAM, which I think is fine combined with that processor. So I'm not too worried about it. But they're in back to school sales, so if anyone needs a laptop, they got good prices right now.
Wait, what are the back to school? You can get back to school sales as a non-student? How does that work?
Well, I bought it through Best Buy, and they had $200 off as a back to school sale.
I see.
Which isn't bad. So I've had it for less than a week, and it's been great. It's a good computer. That's sort of, it's not like noticeably faster, but it's not noticeably slower either.
Right, and it's whatever 1/8 of the power usage or whatever.
Yeah, the battery it's plugged in a lot of the time, but the battery, it's light. I like the 13-inch size because I have a 16-inch MacBook Pro Intel powered for work, and I like the 13-inch better. It's a nice size.
Wait, didn't you have an iMac at one point?
In my office, yeah, I did.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I've never owned one personally, and that helped with the transition. I've been using a Mac for work now for a couple of years, so I'm much more familiar with it. And that's why it wasn't too bad to do the transition.
And you weren't tempted by the iMac?
No, because I had a desktop for years, and it was always annoying that, like, I want to sit on the couch and do something, or I wanted to grab it and take it somewhere, and it was always, I had to be in my office. And again, for the power I need, I figured why not get the portability? I did learn, and I don't think anyone realizes this, the M1 chip currently only supports one external monitor.
Oh, no.
Really?
Which I hate. Now, they say it's software fixable, and eventually Apple's, like I said, they're going to do something about it. But that really bums me out. That's annoying. Because honestly, it'll probably be closed a lot of the time in my office.
Is that like one external monitor? Like you can
Yes.
have the laptop open and run it.
And that's
one.
I have that right now. But I also have these two very nice HDMI, like nice monitors that I'd sell.
Right.
That's the
Right.
only downside I've really had. The keyboard, especially compared to the one on my Intel Mac, this is the nicest laptop keyboard I've ever used in my life. It is wonderful.
Is it different than the?
It's different than the one on my year-old computer.
Cool.
But I don't know if it was. I don't know because they kept changing them and whatnot. But it's backlit. It's very nice. The keys are very nice. It's a great computer. I've been happy with it. The most annoying thing is I have all of these hard drives because I'm a hoarder who had a desktop who could fit 5 hard drives in them, and they're all Windows formatted, and they're all SATA drives. SATA drives. So in my pick later, I'll explain how I got all the data off of them.
Nice.
But that was a pain in the ass.
The data.
And I got one other toy. Because what you don't realize when you switch from Windows to Mac, you got to buy some new stuff.
Absolutely.
Especially now
Think of the
USB-C.
dongles.
A lot of dongles, but I had a Windows keyboard. I had a Windows key on it, no command. I didn't know what any of the keys mapped to. And so I said, I got to get a new Mac keyboard. Guys, for the first time, I went mechanical.
Woohoo!
Oh.
I went mechanical.
That's what I was waiting for. Wow.
And I got to tell you, this fucking rules. I've never had, and this is just like an off the shit. I didn't customize it, although it's got all the LEDs or whatever in it. But just the feeling of typing on these keys is just you guys should have told me sooner. I should have done this. This thing is fucking great. I love it more than the computer, to be honest with you.
Now we've got them. Pretty soon, Sean's going to be going on those websites, buying the custom keycaps, learning all about the different kinds of switches. What kind of switches did you get, Sean?
Well, that's what it is. So this is, and I'm going to pick it eventually. I got to look up the name of the company. They were very if you're going to get Keychron. It's the Keychron K2, and they had 3 switches: red, blue, and brown. I think, and I went with the brown.
Okay.
Nice.
But it does all the goofy ass lighting effects and stuff where the lights kind of flash on and off, and I mean it's great.
Yeah, that's cool.
So look, I mean it's it does little keyboard dances and stuff. It's I'm blown away. So that's been my favorite purchase outside of the computer. So
Nice.
So in future episodes, you guys will have to give me some Mac tips and Mac advice and some Mac programs and anything. I mean,
I've been picking all these little Mac apps.
I was going to say you're going to have to go back through the log and download all of Dan's Mac picks.
Because I have replaced pretty much all my Windows programs at this point. There's none. The only thing I haven't found, and if you or anyone else has a good pick, I had a great software package that would allow me to download YouTube videos and convert them to MP3s for the shows and do all that kind of stuff. And I've struggled to find a good Mac replacement.
Here's what you do. You install, you know about YouTube DL?
That sounds familiar.
YouTube DL is this, I think it's a command line app, but it's super simple. You open up terminal, you run YouTube DL space the YouTube URL, and then that downloads the video.
Okay.
Then what you do is then you look at, I don't know what it downloads. You look at it, and then you Google FFmpeg, FFmpeg.
Oh, I know FFmpeg, yeah.
Convert X to Y, and then you find some Stack Overflow thing, and then you take that and you paste that into the terminal, and then you run that, and no need for apps on the Mac, Sean. You just
terminal.
The Unix
The word terminal.
You already have a GitHub account. This is your next step.
Oh, no.
Look at the dark side.
I'm reading all the different things you can put in, and it's oh, no.
Just remember,
I'm going to break this computer as soon as I get it.
That's like 60% of the work.
Oh, Lord. All right. Well, I'll think about it. But that's good. That's the kind of advice I'm looking for. So please shout out and let me know.
Nice.
Yeah, FFmpeg is amazing.
It is. Absolutely. Is there anything else going on generally that we want to discuss?
I don't think so.
No?
I have generated lots of picks over the last couple of weeks, so I feel like it was a prolific software month for me.
Nice. Well, that's good. I'm excited to hear all about it. We'll have picks a little later in the show. But first, we've got to get to the tech news. Guys, we've been gone for a month. I could have grabbed probably more popular stories, but I thought I would pick a few that might get the conversation going. And so there's an interesting mix of things in here from all the major platforms. If you guys have any you would like to.
All the major platforms.
Oh my goodness. All the big guys
platforms.
from Valve to Major League Baseball and more.
I like the Valve one's interesting. I think let's start there.
Yeah, let's do it. My friend and yours, the Valve Corporation, has announced the Steam Deck, a Switch-like handheld gaming device powered by Steam. Reservations are now open, and it will begin shipping. I think they shifted it a little bit. I'm trying to see if any are still. Yeah, after Q2 2022. So until mid next year is when you will get it. It starts at $399 and goes up for more storage. And essentially, if you've seen a Nintendo Switch, you've seen what this thing looks like. It's a similar form factor, except the Joy-Cons don't come off the sides. An AMD APU with a quad-core Zen 2 CPU with 8 threads. It's essentially, I believe, 4 teraflops. You got 16 gigabyte of LPDDR5 RAM. You've got different storage options plus a high-speed micro SD card slot. 2 thumbsticks, but also 2 small trackpads beneath them. A, B, X, Y buttons, a D-pad, and a 7-inch touchscreen for 720p gameplay, as well as 2 shoulder triggers and 4 back buttons. It's going to be powered by SteamOS. So you'll be able to play compatible Steam games, not 100% of them, but ones that will be compatible will work. You can plug it into a TV, and you won't need a dock. You can just use a cable. It is technically running Linux, and one neat thing is that you can plug in a mouse, keyboard, and monitor to it. You can install other game stores. You can install Windows on it if you want to, and play Xbox games. Yeah. So there you go.
Now, wasn't there some crazy thing about the storage with this, where like what is the base price and what is the base storage?
So right now, if you wanted to order one, you start at 64 gigabytes for $399, 256 gigabytes for $529, and 512 gigabytes for $649.
How much was the base?
$399. So you're adding $350 to go from 64
right, but how
to
much was the
512.
storage on the base one?
64, and it's actually it's eMMC storage.
Yeah,
The other two were actually faster. It's actually an SSD.
eMMC is basically an SD card, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, and there's other small differences too. Like it's got a different premium anti-glare glass on the 512, and you get an exclusive carrying case and some other stuff for getting the more expensive one. So no, I don't think you would get the $399 one necessarily, but what do I know?
Weird. It looks huge.
It's beefy. It's beefy. I mean, you can see videos online of people holding it and playing it, and yeah, it's the real deal. You know what it makes me think of? I was thinking about this the other day. Was the PlayStation Vita really far ahead of its time?
I was also just reading about that. It seems like it was.
Because I remember it, and by the way, the people who had it loved it, and a lot of great games were made. I mean, it's a really good legacy device, but it's like, wow.
There was an Uncharted game made for it. It was like a legit Uncharted game, yeah.
It's really incredible. And it competed with the Nintendo 3DS, if you think about it, back in those days. They came out at the same time. That's kind of incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember the first Vita. That was the other thing that was confusing. I was like, wait, how many Vitas were there? I think there was only 2. But I remember the first one, you could like hack and put all sorts of different kind of games on and stuff.
Yeah, it had an OLED touch screen on it. I mean,
that was ahead of its time. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, really, really great. But didn't it take CDs?
I think so. The
first version,
weird little disc cartridge things. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, not to get distracted, but I was like, wow, that's kind of incredible that we're kind of replicating that all these years later.
Do you remember, this is another Wikipedia rabbit hole I went down the other day, business card CDs?
Yes! Yes!
These are CDs business card size that you could slip into your wallet, but computers could read them.
Yeah, they were like little, they were kind of like that. They looked like CDs you lopped off half of.
Yes. And they had straight sides.
Right.
I remember, I don't remember what it was for, but I had one for a game or something back in the day. and I was afraid to put it in my computer because I was like, this
Yes.
can't, like, it's gonna get stuck in there, right? Like,
It's not
this can't
possible.
work. Yeah,
I
never took
remember
off.
having it for some Pokemon thing, but I can't remember what that was.
Yep, and now we don't even. Now we got little SD cards and digital downloads.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah, this thing's cool. I don't have a lot more to say than that.
It has HDMI, right?
It has, I believe, USB-C out
Okay.
that you can get a cable to convert it to HDMI, and it does have a dock, by the way, a separate dock. You just don't need it.
Right.
But it does have a dock that includes HDMI, DisplayPort, USB-C, Ethernet, USB, all that sort of stuff.
Cool. Yeah, I would be interested in this. I'm pretty sure it's super back ordered. I tried to reserve one day of, and the whole Steam store was crashing, and then I ran out of time.
Yeah. I would be, to be quite honest with you, brand new hardware like this from a company that doesn't traditionally make a ton of hardware, I would not want the first batch of these. Something is going to, the joystick isn't going to work, or the screen's going to be tinted colored, or you're probably better off
That's fair.
waiting a little bit.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you guys are Switch aficionados. Do you think this is more or less compelling?
I think it is less compelling for most people. My experience using the Steam Big Picture mode, which I think they're renaming now, is pretty good. And it does some pretty cool hacks to make... So, one thing you can do in Steam if you want to play a game with a controller, because like a lot of these games that are available on Steam were not built for controller use. But Steam users have made controller like profiles, I think they call it, for it. And so when you download a game or when you want to play a game and you want to use a controller, Steam just handles it for you. It's like, oh, here's this like controller profile that someone made. You can just use this one, or you can pick from these other ones. And that's way better than the alternative, which is you'd have to set that up yourself or like search through them all and download one. But it's always a little bit weird.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for just like a person who wants to play games, this is not worth it. But for a person who is like tech savvy and wants to play, I don't know, some PC only game, like, oh my God, back when Slay the Spire was PC only and I was addicted to it, and it's just a stupid card game you could easily play on the Switch. You can now, actually. Oh man, I would have killed to be able to play that like on the plane or whatever. Or some of those like Divinity, back when Divinity was not on the Switch, now it is. To be able to play Divinity on the airplane, so cool. So I think for those people, it's great. PC only games, I don't know, like League of Legends. You can't play League of Legends on the Switch, and I don't think you'll ever be able to. But you could plug this into your TV in your hotel room and play League of Legends like that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. To me, the secret weapon is if they can get... So what's interesting is all of these new streaming game services, right? Stadia and Xbox Game Pass, they're all building them for the browsers right now because they have to get around iOS's issues, and they're all going... If this thing can easily not only play Steam games, but can integrate your Xbox Game Pass and your EA Origin and all of these other services, that to me is the golden ticket. That if it can become, because I think if it's just a Steam device, you're going to limit your audience. But if you say, no, it's not just Steam, you can play any Xbox game and any PlayStation game and any of those services you can play on this, it's essentially a gaming computer on the go. And I think that's really compelling. I just don't know if technically they can do it and if commercially they want to do it that way.
I'm surprised Valve hasn't come out with a game streaming service.
It's a good...
They've kind of become the like PC gaming infrastructure company. Like, when was the last game? What was the last actual game they released? I guess it was Half-Life VR.
Yeah, I just wonder if it's my thought is it's not a tech issue. It's like a licensing business issue where because it's sort of a self-serve store in the way Xbox or PlayStation isn't, that working around all the different deals and the rights and how much, if you pay $9.99 a month, how much does each game maker get? And it's easier because Game Pass has 100 games and Steam has 1 million. Now, could they do best of Steam streaming? Maybe, but I think that's a good point, Dan. You would think they're working on that.
Whew. All right, that was our first tech story in a month.
It was a good one. It was a good one. All right, what's our second tech story in a month?
Was Amazon coming into my apartment? Get out of my apartment.
Yeah, Dan, as you were talking about
Amazon.
Latched, I immediately went to this. This story came out today. It was very interesting. Amazon has a system called Key for Business. We've actually talked about Key for Home before. It's that service that lets Amazon come into your house if you give them access to your smart locks. But Key for Business is totally different. It allows its delivery drivers to gain access to apartment buildings without having to be buzzed in. And it's apparently been installed in thousands of buildings across the U.S. The company is reportedly pushing to get the system installed in more buildings using a combination of free installation and gift cards as incentives. But the thing is, not all residents know that Amazon has the rights to enter their buildings via temporary access from Amazon. Amazon, and I love this because this is what a weird statistic, but Amazon says a pilot program of the system increased the success of first-time deliveries from 96% to 98%, which I guess is good for those 2% of people. They're pitching building managers and partnering with locksmiths to offer the installation sometimes free of charge. Dan, do you know if your place has Amazon Key for Business?
I don't know. Like, how would I know?
Have you ever seen an Amazon delivery person walking the halls?
No, but I guess that's my question. What is the goal to, like, because we have a package room. It's unmanaged. Someone has to put the packages in there. I don't know who does that. Maybe it's just they let the delivery person in, they do it themselves.
Yeah, as far as I understand this, it varies by building. So if you have a doorman, they can leave it with the doorman, which you wouldn't necessarily have to be buzzed in to do. But it could also be left in a locked lobby. It could be left, like you said, in a package room, but it could also be delivered directly to the apartment door.
I see. Yeah, nothing has ever been delivered to my door.
When I lived in an enclosed apartment complex, I had packages. Like, I don't know how the delivery people, I guess they just waited for somebody to hold the door or something, but they just went in and left it at my door. They didn't need this.
Wow.
I don't know. Is this spooky or not really a big deal?
I don't think it's that big of a deal because in my mind, at least all the apartment buildings I've lived in, I would be creeped out if this was available at a 3-person apartment building, like one of those, walk-up ones. But if it's like a 50-unit building, I already treat the like hallways in the lobby as like a public space anyways. I don't have any expectation of privacy in the elevator. So I'm not that creeped out by it. It's not like, I'm always going to lock my door. I don't trust people in the apartment building.
But would you want the building owners to let you know that this was happening, or do you not even care about that?
I don't think I care.
Yeah, I don't know that I care either.
They let the UPS. Like, I'm pretty sure what happens is that the UPS truck pulls up to the loading dock. We have loading docks here, and they let them in and they dump it all in the package room.
Right.
I guess it's different because they don't need to go door to door. Maybe I'd feel differently if they were going door to door, but like, the food delivery people show up and they get buzzed in to go up with no oversight. They're not doing a background check on those people. I don't know. It's not a big deal to me. But I see how it could be a big deal. I would certainly, if I ran an apartment building, I would notify people that this was happening. Because it's also, you could spin it as a service. Like, hey, In this building, Amazon delivers
kind
to
of a
your
feature.
door. Don't even need to go to the package room. Yeah, exactly.
Well, and that was going to be my follow-up question, Dan, is as a person with a smart lock on their apartment, if your building offered the option of, Dan, you can enroll with Amazon and Amazon will actually deliver the packages into your apartment, would you sign up for that?
I think that feature is a very pre-COVID feature because I'm home all the time, so it doesn't really matter. You
Fair.
know, if I get a notification that's like, "Hey, the package is outside your door," then I can just go get it. I don't
But
need
what if
someone to.
what if you weren't home all the time?
Then it's a bit different. I still don't think it would make sense for me. I wouldn't sign up for it. Although I guess if I lived in a place where packages got stolen all the time, and I had a security camera, then maybe it would be worth it.
Yeah. I would like if the Amazon people could like bring packages into the building reliably. I think that would be nice. Because stuff does get stolen here, unfortunately. Also, the mail, like USPS has an actual key to the building that they let themselves in with and then like go to the mailboxes. So I guess what's
Yeah,
the
that's what's hard
difference?
is you could have an Amazon delivery person one day and a different person the next day. You know,
Yeah. Whereas like there are two mail carriers that come here. But it could be cool. It seems
Yeah,
like
I'm
it could
always
be quite an
surprised-
advantage over like FedEx and UPS. I don't know if what that
Oh, totally.
translates into, but like I don't. Maybe they could do something like this too. But
I'm surprised, especially in complexes like yours, Dan, that are a little bit newer and a little more organized, that they don't do more Amazon Locker installations. To me, that's more advantageous for Amazon than getting buzzed in, where you, as an Amazon customer, Dan, still have to go to the mail room and wait in line or whatever and get the package from some person, or hope it's hanging out outside your door when you get home.
We've definitely seen. We saw some buildings in Stanford that had an Amazon locker.
Because I've the Home Depot near me has customer pickup, and they have lockers at the Home Depot where they'll put your order and you go and you sign, you can just grab your order and go, and it's great. And I'm like, holy shit, I would have loved that when I was in an apartment where I don't have to talk to anybody. There's just a little box with my package in it. Like that to me is pretty cool. It just
I
takes
wonder,
up a lot
is
of
that
space.
a Home Depot COVID innovation?
No. I think it
Okay.
was there before, but it was recent. It wasn't like years and years and years. But no. Curbside pickup was a COVID thing.
Right.
That was new. But the lockers were there before. So, anyway, there you go. Any other stories in here we want to hit on, gentlemen?
No,
Okay.
I'm good.
Well, with that rousing excitement, why don't we move on to picks? This is the part of the show where we just bring something we want to share. And boy, have we got some fun stuff tonight. And I'm going to start with Dan because, Dan, I'm not here to call you out. I'm not that guy. I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure. We talked about this on the show before. Did you not pick it before?
I checked and it didn't look like I had picked it before, but maybe I did talk
Because
about
I've
it on
been
the
to
show.
their website. I think it wasn't a pick. I think you just talked about it.
Yeah, maybe I just talked about it. I can pick something else. Should I
No.
pick something else? All right.
Tell me does it continue to be great?
Yeah, it continues to be good. Honest Networks is the internet provider we have here. It's $50 for a gigabit service, which is like half the price, less than half the price of FiOS for the same service in New York City. So that's pretty good. And while we were out, we had an outage, and they proactively emailed me about the outage, like, "Hey, there's something going wrong. We're investigating." And no internet provider has ever emailed me about an outage. I've always had to like go on my cell phone service and go to Comcast.com or whatever and navigate their Byzantine thing, like put in your zip code. So I continue to be impressed with Honest Networks.
Great.
Did I tell you that so they have Ethernet drops in these rooms, and they like spliced them open and connected them to my router for me?
Wow. So you're hardwired.
I'm hardwired. This computer goes into the wall and it snakes through somewhere into the closet where the router is. It's great.
That's awesome.
So luxurious.
My dream machine, though, Colby, it is a little sad to be in the closet. I opened up the closet, and for the first time ever, I can hear the dream machine fan, which doesn't matter because it's in the closet. But I'd never heard it before. I was like,
Get steamy.
sorry.
I tried to put my PS4 in a cupboard once. It's a bad idea.
I think it's a jet engine.
Yeah. Surprised I didn't start a fire.
Yeah, honest.net. Check it out if you're in the in their service area. That's great. Cool. Thank you, Dan. I will go next because I can. As I mentioned, I have all of these hard drives, which, by the way, you guys be happy to know I have about 3 terabytes worth of total files. And Don't Panic alone is up to half a terabyte. Oof. So I have a file problem. And so I had all these in, but how do you connect these to a computer that only has a USB-C port? It only has 2 USB-C ports. I'm living in portless hell. So I picked up the Sabrent SATA docking station, which I have right here. And it's just this nice little box that looks like frankly like a toaster. It's like a hard drive toaster, and you just take the drives. And it's nice because you just take and if you're watching the video, I'm doing it here, but they just stick them in, and the ports are inside. It's pretty cool, and it shoots out as USB 3.0, which I have a USB-C dock that converts it for me. And okay, get out of there. Didn't do that right. But anyway, it takes both the 2.5 and the 3.5 inch solid state and hard disks. And it was great, and it worked great. I transferred all the files off, reformatted some drives. It was a very handy piece of equipment, so I'm glad I have it. And now I don't have to throw out all these hard drives. I can keep using them. So check it out. And it's like $40. It's super reasonable. So
yeah, that's a good thing to have.
a necessary toy.
Nice.
Because it's, hard drives, I feel like some of these are really old, and I feel like I should probably throw them out, but I keep needing more space. So, actually, by the way, and what I ended up doing was, because the speeds are good out of this, they're not great. And the issue is you're constantly like popping drives in and out. So I just went and bought a 6 terabyte external drive that I moved all the files onto. So I don't actually need these anymore, but I'm going to keep them because you never know. So.
You need to get yourself. You need to make a side project and have like a home media server or something with all those drives.
Well, all that's on it is podcasts. Is our podcast? It's not like I have like tons of like movies or music or TV. I have more podcasting files than every other kind of file combined. Like, I'm not joking. Like my coffee and beer folder that has all the podcast is like at least 750 gigabytes. It's massive. So that's I should just start deleting old episodes. I don't think we need those for anything.
No,
it's only evidence at this point for our future.
Maybe someday they'll call you up and want to add it to the Smithsonian or the Library of Congress.
You can submit anything for the Library of Congress.
All right.
They don't have to accept it, but you can submit anything. So maybe I will do that.
I think once we're done, like once Don't Panic is complete, we should submit it to the Library of Congress.
Yeah, someday should that ever happen.
The complete works.
I'll put it. We'll put it out on vinyl. What do you say?
How many vinyls do you think that would be?
I bet Wolfram Alpha knows.
Minutes on vinyl. Is roughly 22 minutes per side on a 12-inch 33 RPM vinyl record. So it's 44 minutes per record. Even if you say that's an average episode, which it's not, you're talking over 300 records.
Fuck yeah. We should do
well
it.
Over. Probably approaching 400 at that point, which would make one of those great like Time Life infomercials. A new 300 record set. Don't panic. The complete collection can now be yours for the first time on vinyl.
I like to imagine that someday, like long after we're gone, we'll be discovered, and like Don't Panic, like 100 years from now, Don't Panic will be like an institution.
The
It'll be a
Edgar Allan
religion.
Poe of podcasts.
Exactly.
No, I want to be a cult. I want there to be a cult surrounding us where they like study every word we say and like the Book of Colby.
Right. When they play the episode backwards, and like, you know, we're talking about Satan or whatever.
Yeah, and there's like stained glass of us.
Right.
I think it can be happening. We've got some deep thoughts.
It's true.
They're not good.
But they go deep.
Speaking
Right.
of deep
They're not
thoughts,
good
Colby,
now,
your
but
pick.
who knows what the future will hold. That's what I'm saying.
We were ahead of our time. Just like the PS Vita, we were ahead of our time. Colby, what do you have here?
I read a book. Technically, this is Dan's pick from some time ago, but not really. Dan picked the first book, and I read it, and I liked it. So when there was a sequel, I read the second one. The first one was called Semiosis. This one is called Interference. Yes, Interference. It was good. It's a pretty interesting series so far. I don't know if there's going to be more, but it's like this is the one where the plants are alive. The plants are intelligent. There's alien plants. It's weird. It's cool.
Ooh.
Now, I couldn't get through this book.
Really? Where'd you get
I
stuck?
think I got stuck there, like traveling somewhere. Are they on a boat or something?
Oh yeah, at the beginning that was kind of boring.
I guess it's in the beginning. Yeah, I'll give it another shot.
Yeah, that was the people in the canoe or whatever. That was
Yes.
like right at the beginning, and then like all kinds of other stuff happens.
Okay.
The real thing, I don't even know. Like the most interesting thing about these books, I think, is that like each chapter in the book is from a different person's perspective, and one of the person that like there's always a chapter of is like the intelligent plant, and the plant chapter is the best chapter. And it's also like it's weird, it's hard, it's not worth trying to explain maybe, but like the plant chapter, the plant is like omniscient, like the plant is like everywhere, so it's like this bizarre, like half the book is this one chapter, and it's like this plant like stream of consciousness where the plant is like witnessing everything that is happening everywhere. It's very weird, but
Now,
cool.
Colby, did you read The Raven Tower?
No.
All right. If you like that, you should read The Raven Tower. It is a book told from the second person. So it's an omniscient being observing everything that's happening
That sounds weird.
and describing it.
I'm gonna add that one to the queue.
Well, I will say, and I don't know if it's because this book isn't particularly popular, but I think this is the first book I've ever pulled up on the show that didn't have a notable bad review. I mean, it has bad reviews, but they're like smart bad reviews. There's no like idiot bad reviews. So I don't know what that means. It's a book only for smart people.
Nice.
I think that's probably pretty close to true.
Yeah. But that's great. Interference, a novel. By Sue Burke. Maybe the E's silent. Maybe it's just Burke. But check that out. We'll have the link to that and all of the picks on the website as always. Guys, I think we're going to start wrapping it up here unless you have anything to say or add.
No, it's good to be back.
No.
Oh, it's so good to be back. And speaking of being back, guys, the family is back. Are you big family men?
I mean,
The family.
It's family. I can't. Family.
Oh, is this a Fast and Furious reference?
Ah, it is. Dan's got the picture. It's Vin Diesel.
Okay.
I live my life 1/4 mile at a time.
I've never seen a Fast and Furious movie.
Well, you were in luck, Dan. There's never been a better time because over on Up for Debate, we are doing the entire Fast saga this summer. We've made our way through 4 of 10 movies, and there's still so much more to go. So check it out over at Up for Debate or wherever you get your podcasts. You're going to want to check those out. We've had a lot of fun. They are worth watching, I would say. So that's been a lot of fun. And we've already announced, right now I'm already planning Sean Temper, which if my gracious co-host here would be willing to come back for another taste test this year, no cookies, something else, but I will send you free food. So
Absolutely.
Yes.
all right, I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be fun. And we already sort of announced we want to do. Have you guys seen Space Jam 2 yet?
No.
It's
I hear it's great.
it's not even good bad. It's just sad bad or lazy bad. It's worth watching, but Matt and I agree we are absolutely doing a Space Jam 1 and 2 episode at some point. So we're working on a lot. In October, we're doing scary movies. We've got so much great stuff going on over there. So you're going to want to check it out, upfordebate.tv or wherever you get podcasts. But this show, don'tpanic.io, is our website. Go there, get the audio, the video, this week's in Picstory, which is always a lot of fun, this week's picks, so you don't have to remember. And, of course, subscribe wherever you get podcasts in the video version on YouTube, where we're looking better than ever in HD. And, of course, follow us at Don't Panic Show on Twitter. Email us don'tpanicshow@gmail.com. That's going to do it. We promise it's not going to be 4 weeks until our next episode. We're going to be back next week, or maybe the week after.
We will be
Definitely
back
no
next
more than the
week.
week after that. No, we will. Come on. We're done
Well, the
having
problem
lives.
is the week after that I'm not around, so we better be back next week.
Oh boy, this isn't good. Well, bonus points to Colby, who's been up since 4 a.m. Minnesota time, which I think is 8 hours behind. So props to him for staying awake.
Yeah, I made it. It's really just 5 a.m. here.
It's well, good. Well, hey man, stay up. Enjoy your evening. Thanks everybody for joining us. On behalf of Colby and Dan, I am Sean. We'll see you next time for another great edition of Don't Panic.